Sweet, savory, and smoky. Welcome to another episode of Erik Wait Whiskey Studies, and in this video I'm going to do a review of the Bruichladdich Port Charlotte heavily peated Islay single malt Scotch whiskey. This is a 10-year-old. But before I get into this whiskey, here are my notes. The Bruichladdich Port Charlotte 10-year-old Islay single malt Scotch whiskey. It is peated to 40 ppm. It is aged in 65% first fill American whiskey casks, 10% second fill American casks, and 25% second fill French wine casks. It is bottled at 50% alcohol by volume and retails for about $55 to $70 here in the United States. Of course, prices may vary depending on where you live. Alrighty, so this is a really nice whiskey at a very affordable price. First of all, just a little comment about the bottle. It looks like Ugly Betty, and that's not an old girlfriend of mine. Ugly Betty is actually a still that they have at Bruichladdich. It's a Lohman still, which was sort of an experimental still, which was an attempt to produce a still that was a hybrid between a pot still and a column still. Didn't quite work out, but they've got one at Bruichladdich, and they primarily use it for making their botanist gin, and I was able to see it when I visited the distillery. This is a really, really nice whiskey. And it has, it's hitting those marks that I really, really like. It is sweet, it is savory, and it is salty. Wow. So on the nose, I get stone fruits, perhaps a little bit of peach, also get a little tree fruit, perhaps a little bit of apple, a little bit of pear. And it has really intense peat smoke character to it. Reminds me a little bit of a barbecue. In fact, it's got a little bit of that sort of charred barbecue. If you ever do a tri-tip and you have a rub on the tri-tip, and the ends of the tri-tip tend to be a little bit more well done than the rest of the tri-tip, that's what I get in this. It also has some really nice chocolate notes, that little bit of saltiness. The smoke character of this is sort of like a campfire that has just gone out. So, while it's got the chocolate character going on there, the peat and the smoke character is if a fire just went out. Now, when I did an uncorking of this, which I did for my Patreons, it was actually a little bit more vegetal than it is now. So, having gotten it past the neck, and I'm probably about right here. It's an opaque bottle, so it can be difficult to see where it's at. But if you look at it from top going down like this, you can actually see where the liquid level is. And right now, it's about right there. So a neck pour was a lot more vegetal, a lot more earthy. Now it's become a lot more savory and a lot more meaty, and those barbecue characteristics, which I really like. And the sweetness has come out really, really, really nice. All right, on the palate. Love this whiskey. It is full flavored, intense, and very, very, very bold. The peat character, along with the chocolate, is from start to finish, is all the way through. The fruit character, sort of a peach, apple, pear, it comes through, but you can kind of tell it's really got to do some work in order to get past the peat and smoke. It's also got that nice chocolate note, a little bit of saltiness. I was getting it on the neck pour, but I'm still getting it now. There is just a minuscule amount of black licorice. It has a nice development. It's not a radical change from front to middle to finish, but it does have some variation. I like the mouth feel of this whiskey. It has nice viscosity and nice mouth coating feeling, and a medium to medium plus length finish. Really, really like it. And I think we're doing a head-to-head between this and the Ardbeg 10, because very, very different, and yet there's some similarities between the two. I think in terms of a profile and what, go to head-to-head, good competition would be between this and the Ardbeg 10. So a 10 versus 10 from Islay. Perhaps I'll do a video on that coming up in the near future. Alrighty, what would I give this in terms of a score? I'm going to go 90, 91. 90 to 91. If I would go higher if it had a little bit more variation in flavor, if it had a little bit more fruit. I'd actually like it to be just a hint more sweet, but as it is now, I really, really like it. So an absolutely fantastic whiskey. And you know, if you saw my previous Bowmore videos of the Bowmore 18-year-old and the independent bottling, the Bowmore 20-year-old, I would take this without a doubt. I mean, not even, no question whatsoever. I would take this before the Bowmore 18-year-old, and yet you're gonna save yourself, you know, maybe 50, 60 bucks between this bottle and the Bowmore 18-year-old, and not to mention the independent bottling. An absolutely fantastic whiskey. Really, really like it. All right, that's it for this review. If you subscribe to this channel, I want to thank you very much. If you haven't yet subscribed, I would ask you to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. Share with your Facebook. Share with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and other social networking channels. And I want to give a special shout out to my Patreons. I am now developing my Patreon channel, doing special content on my Patreon channel, in which I'm doing more behind the scenes, neck pour videos, and offering other content beyond what I do on my channel. All right, that's it for this review, and until next time, cheers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and check out these other whiskey videos.